In this video, we will talk about ITIN, which is International Tax Identification Number, which might be needed if you are non-resident and non-citizen of US and running US entity, a company, or even need to file your tax return, your personal tax return in US. So you might need to apply for ITIN. And in this video, you will learn what's the process of getting this number, who needs this number, why you need, and what are the obligations. My guest today is Ur from thatITIN.com company. They help with getting this number. They help with the company formation in US. So check their website, get a $50 discount if you decide to use their services. And now listen to this conversation. Hello, Ur. It's nice to have you here. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us what to do?
Hello, Augustas. Thanks so much for again taking me. This is Ur. Pretty much, I'm the founder and the CEO of thatITIN.com. We're the leading ITIN provider for anyone who is non-American, non-US resident that is looking for obtaining the tax ID number ITIN, which is the subsidies of SSN. We do it online, simple, easy, fast, and thank you so much again for having me.
Yeah, so I have a lot of questions about ITIN. I'm myself from Europe, and I had a chance that I also needed it, and I was considering for a long time, and now I started to work with your company. So far, I'm happy. And of course, I know it's a long process. We can talk about this. But first, can you explain what is this ITIN and why IRS needs that and who needs that?
Sure. Pretty much, ITIN stands for Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. Just like SSN, it's the same structured 9 digits. It exists for the people who cannot get SSN. So who is not a resident in the US, who can't obtain SSN, they need to get ITIN instead. ITIN has multiple purposes, multiple reasons for people to having it. A lot of people, they file their taxes with their ITIN. Most of the people who get ITIN, they are the people who is based in the US, who's immigrating to the US, who's like maybe even undocumented. They're trying to file their taxes and stuff. A lot of entrepreneurs these days, today, online, when they try to sign up to the payment providers, when they try to set up their selling platforms, if they have their ITINs, for them to opening these accounts is kind of like smoother. And for example, a payment provider, in particular called PayPal, most of the reason that people get ITIN from us, maybe 60-70% of our like total market, is people who's trying to open their US business PayPal. We used to say it's impossible to open a US business PayPal without ITIN. We do meet with some people that they do with their company's tax ID number, which is called EIN. However, we have also a lot of like cases that they've been asked later, or right even like when they're starting, if they're in a prohibited country, like if they're in a kind of like a risky country, they've been asked their social or ITIN straight up, because the main purpose is also ITIN is something that is individual, and PayPal is like you can use your PayPal for individual payment purposes as well, not just US business PayPal. That's one reason that people get ITIN. When it comes to setting people set their like Amazon Seller Central, or sets their like biggest credit card issuer, Stripe, if they have ITIN, again, it's like kind of like easier for them to like getting accepted by those payment providers. They can have their personal tax ID along with their EIN company's tax ID. When it comes to filing taxes as a non-American non-resident, if anybody wants to file the 1040 NR as a non-resident for their income individually, it's impossible to file without an ITIN. And a lot, like if you do file your taxes this way, you have to have ITIN, or you need to be applying ITIN along with your tax filing. These are the few reasons. The other reason that we get like not crazy, but there are also like people who are in need for this the reason as well, is a lot of people who are going to the US physically on their own. When it comes to opening their personal bank account from bank branch, the bank may require you to have your individual taxpayer identification number as well if you don't have social. So if you're looking for visiting the States, either for your personal or your business bank account that you're going to open, the bank will do the KYC on you, and they will see you, they will know you, and they will say, okay, we need you to have a like tax ID number here. So these are the main reasons that people get ITIN for. Like the reason people apply their ITIN. It is a process that takes time. It is a process that is technically impossible to do on your own unless you ship your original passport to the States. So let's say that you're in Europe, you're in Africa, you're in South America. If you want to do it online, there's only one way to doing it. which is doing it along with a certified acceptance agent, which is people like us. And not me personally. I work with 2 certified acceptance agents for my business. And these people are the people who can accept the passport scan and do everything remotely. It's a program that's opened by IRS. There's a list of certified acceptance agents on the IRS website. And with these people, you don't have to ship anything. Some companies, they ask you to ship their signed document. There's like a different road that we take that we don't require any single document at all. With the certified acceptance agents, you can get your ITIN. ITIN is obtained by the IRS. It is something that takes time. It takes around like 8 to 12 weeks, 14 weeks. On the IRS websites, it says this takes shorter, but unfortunately it takes longer. These days, actually, it's taking a little bit less, like 6 to 8 weeks for like recent applicants. We do hundreds of items every month. And pretty much, when doing ITIN, there are different types of reasons that you can ask IRS to obtain ITIN. They're the most common 2 ones. One is filing taxes. If you're filing your federal income taxes, 1040-NR, you can do an application with that. Along with your filing, you can ask for an ITIN from the IRS. The other one is the one that's the most common, and maybe 95% of our customers are this one. Is anyone who has a U.S. entity who is starting a new business. You can ask the IRS and say, hey, IRS, I was starting a new entity. I need an ITIN for me individually, for as a business owner. So if you have your U.S. company and your EIN tax ID number of the company and a clean, clear passport scan, pretty much these are the main required things that people need to provide when they're getting their ITINs. Like fastly I go through kind of like the things that come to my mind. Anything further that we can discuss? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. So let's talk about these reasons why we need ITN. You mentioned 1040 form. What kind of form is it? Is it someone has to worry if they are doing freelancing from Europe or Asia for American company? When do you need these forms?
Sure. First, as a legal disclaimer, I need to say that I am personally not an IRS representative or an tax advisor or anyone. So when you have your U.S. source income, depending on where you're from, depending on your entity type, there's you need to be filing your taxes. So if you are, let's say that like you have an entity and you've been filing your taxes and you have an income, and if you want to file your taxes with 1040-NR and say that to the US, they're like, okay, this is my income, I want to file my taxes and pay my taxes on this one, you need to use the 1040-NR. Like there are different roads that like you can also go around it, that you don't need to file the 1040-NR as well. In that case, you don't need the ITIN, to be honest. For example, let's say that like we have a lot of customers, we have different type of customers. So the tax is a little bit like, this is how I know, again, like with multiple CPAs that I've been working with throughout the years. But like let's say that if you're in a tax treaty country, okay, if you have a single member LLC, the meaning of the single member LLC is like when you have an entity, the single member is like it's pass-through entity. So income of the LLC is your income directly. So single member LLC, tax treaty country, and no physical presence in the US. Let's say that like you're freelancer, but you start your own entity. Okay, you have a company, but you're a freelancer, and you don't have any office, any employees, no one. If these three comes together, what you do is this: you file a different form, which you don't need to use the 1040 and the ITIN. With that form, you say to the IRS, it's a form that's called 5472 plus 1120 pro forma, which is a form that shows the money exchange from your pocket to the US and from US entity to your home country. And once you only tell IRS, like, these are my contributions, this is the money that I put, and this is my distribution, the money that I took, you basically say to the IRS, hey IRS, I'm a taxpayer in my home country. And yeah, this is what I do. So that's that one route that you can take, but it's not just like, oh, okay, like I'm not based in the US, so I don't pay taxes, so I don't need to file that. We have a lot of customers, they do both options. They file their taxes and they pay a percentage of their income and profit. And if they are the ones that they are paying, that without ITIN, they cannot do their 1040-NR as a non-resident 1040-NR filing. And ITIN is required there, to be honest.
So I just checked the website of IRS. 1040-NR is U.S. non-resident alien income tax return. So But
Yes.
most of, like, let's say if it's a freelancer invoicing with a, let's say, German freelance registration,
Yeah.
writing invoice for American company, they don't need to worry about this. It's more
True.
like,
Yeah. If there's no entity, yeah, true.
and if someone has ITN, and are there any kind of obligations like now for life to responsibilities, like for life every year, to, even if, let's say, somebody opened to got this number with by having LLC or C Corp in US, and now they close the, this activity, and now do they need, like, what are the obligations?
So this is a question that we get a lot, actually. Like, people are saying like, oh, I have ITIN. Should I have to file taxes because I have ITN? Or what are my responsibilities? Or like an example that you say, they get the ITIN at the time, they stop the business, they dissolve the business, they discontinue, they don't continue anymore. And what should I do with my ITIN? So you have your ITIN, which you for good. If you don't use your ITIN for 3 consecutive years to file your taxes, do the 1040, your ITIN gets expired. So people can think like, oh, okay, it means so I have to pay my taxes or file my taxes every year. Not really. If it gets expired, you can renew your ITIN, just like you get your ITIN again, and it's going to be like again for 3 another years.
It will be new number or the same number activated?
The same number, renew. Yeah. So you say to the IRS, hey, I didn't use my ITIN to file my taxes, but I've been using my ITIN. Please, like, get it back. And the other thing is like ITIN alone. Having ITIN do not determine anyone's tax status. So you have ITIN, you don't have ITIN, nothing changes with your taxes. Your taxes do depend on, like, if you have your U.S. source income, which means like, you are having like an income in the U.S. Yeah, these are kind of like, there's not like another big of a responsibility of ITIN, like that, like you have ITIN, or that's what's going to happen to you or something. One other thing that people do get ITIN is, for example, like if they're thinking anything future in the US, like if they're going to be a resident in the future, if they will have social, if they have their like bank relationship, ITIN can be used for credit card purposes and for personal credit purposes as well. So when it comes like to them having social, if they have ITIN before, if they became a resident, like let's say that they're going to have their papers in the US, they're going to become like a permanent resident, green card holder. Then once it's time for them to get to social, the ITIN also has this, like, the credit history and background.
And if someone, if you said if someone is like becoming a resident in US, they would have SSN. We never explained what is SSN. It's a social security number. It's when you live and pay taxes, right, in US, like when you're a resident. Right?
Yeah.
And then they would, like, the government would associate this old ITIN with your new SSN while you're living.
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah.
Of course, like a lot of this information you hear in this video, Ur is not an official CPA or tax advisor, but I suggest like contact your CPA and tax advisor of in US just to get confirmation on all the information you hear.
For over like 6+ years, we've been helping people to update their ITINs, and if they need their ITIN, we got them. If they need to set their entity, we also help them start companies in all 50 states, get their tax ID numbers, provide them a business address. So that's the basic main service that we do. Like we, if they want to file their taxes, we help our customers to file their taxes as well. Like hundreds of our customers, they file their taxes with us. However, again, like, these are very sensitive, deep topics. I am not an expert again. Everything I share is out of my knowledge that I work with, CPAs or CAs like throughout the years and thousands of people from all around the world.
And another question, if let's say someone is already successfully running U.S. entity, a company, he's a foreigner, non-U.S. resident, and he managed to create all this without having ITIN and running, and they have like bank accounts and PayPal running with the EAN, with the company's ID. Now they create ITIN just because they think maybe it's a bit safer in case banks ask for additional information. Do they have to provide this ITIN in their company next year of reporting?
What happens sometimes is this, since ITIN is something that takes a very long time. For example, we had a case, or like pretty much, I know that like people facing this. So let's say the once like the purpose of having ITIN is like just providing when you ask for your personal tax ID number, SSN. So let's say like they've been using this Stripe or PayPal, and PayPal comes and says, "Hey, we need to verify you further, for your full name and your tax ID number." And once it's there for you to put your tax ID number, either social or ITIN, since ITIN is something that takes long, you not being able to provide ITIN can, unfortunately, like lead you to even like closing your account. PayPal can say, "Okay, we can verify you, we can add it's something that takes time." And a lot of people do start without ITIN, and they come to us like once PayPal asks them, or once they try to set their PayPal, and then they had to wait, and PayPal has to like reject that application. So which is something that is important people to having their ITINs on their hand once they're asked, so they can provide it.
And do you know that this ITIN needs to be provided in the file yearly reports of the company as well? Probably as if you're the owner.
Those ones, the annual renewals of like Wyoming franchise tax, those are related with the state. ITIN is something that's related with the federal government, aka the IRS. Like when they renew their companies in states, no, like especially for the most common states, if it's like one state that has, I don't know, but like when it comes to like renewing your entity in Wyoming, Texas, Florida, Delaware, your annual renewal has nothing to do with ITIN at all.
So let's talk about the process of getting the ITIN. You said sure. It takes very long. What does it mean? Like, is it like 2 weeks or 5 months?
Submissions for first thing first. Again, if you don't like a lot of the biggest misinformation that is out on the internet is right now, like a lot of people are saying, or like the biggest banks, the biggest payment providers, they say, "Oh, if you need ITIN, go to the IRS website." And on IRS websites, it says, "Oh, there's a W-7 form. You can fill it and you can ship it to the IRS. Then you can get your ITIN." However, there's one issue again. If you don't prove your identification document, which means if you don't ship your hard copy passport, you're not going to get your ITIN. You're going to waste your time. They're going to answer in like 6 to 8 weeks minimum. So you're going to waste that time, and it's going to be a waste of your energy. Like, you can try if you want. We have a lot of people who try. We have even people that they tried when they're in the States, they shipped their passport, and it was the time that their 6 months is done in the country. So they had to leave, and they had issues. So they left like late, which is like a, big, they're going to go through like visa cancellation most likely. Anyways, so the question was like how the process works, right? So first thing first, there has to be a reason like for you to applying ITIN. Again, the main reason is either filing taxes or the having a new entity. Having a new entity is the most common one.
Just in case for the future, they would not give you, like if you have nothing related to US, like they would not, like, "Oh, I just want, in 5 years, I'm planning to open."
Yeah, yeah. You have to have it. Or what happens is this. For example, we have customers, like we have a lot of Chinese customers, especially like last year. They do go to Vegas, like on vacation. They the casinos, they have their limitations when they pay them back. So in order to get those limitations like out and the payments out, they have to provide ITIN. So what we do is this: we file taxes on the money like this. Let's say that I made $500 on in casino. I want to file my taxes on this 500 or 100, doesn't matter. So we file taxes with that 500 or 100, and we apply for ITIN. That's kind of like an excuse and reason to apply ITIN for. Yeah. So out of these reasons, you need ITIN, and you need to like provide the main document that you need to provide is your identification. It has to be clear passport scan that's valid at least for 6 months. All 4 corners, 4 sides visible, readable. And it has to be scanned with a scan. You can do with like a Kemp scanner app that you find on App Store.
With the time, it will be difficult to find a scanner who. So basically, I had to go through this process.
Yeah. But unfortunately, as a certified accepted agent, the accepted agents they're trained and authorized by the IRS to accept those documents in the right way. So if it's not the right way, we cannot like us. We don't even ship because we don't want to get rejected and like waste anyone's time. It has to be clear scan, and if they have an entity, they have to have a document that shows that ownership. For example, certificate of formation, initial resolution. These documents, depending on the state, has to have the name of the applicant and shows that that company is owned by those people. If they don't have these documents, we help them again, or something so simple. They can prepare an internal operating agreement, which is a document that they can say, oh, this business is owned and run by this individual. And the EIN also has to be like in two forms, either 147C, which is an IRS letter, or 575 CP, CP 575, like, which is the fax that IRS sends. So in these two forms, again, once they do it with us, it's very simple and structured on their form. And anything that's missing, with my teammates, I always like communicate with applicants.
Yeah, so actually I used your team to apply for ITIN. It was quite smooth process. It was very fast communication. And I had this problem of sending a mobile phone scanned passport, and they said like, oh, you need to get a regular scanner. And luckily I had a copy shop nearby, and they did it for me. So, but it was like very clearly explained what I need to do. Okay, cool. And yeah, let's talk about how you can help. So you said that better not to do it yourself just because of sending hard copy. Nobody wants that to send to like a black hole. And with you, we can send everything online. Nothing needs to be sent by post. And
after anyone like who starts with us, like they will submit their documents. We do their fillings. They don't need to fill the W7 or none of the any forms for writing application. Then there are two forms that we ask them to sign. These are IRS forms, not random forms that we have. And after that, we submit to the IRS. We ship the application to the IRS without the passport. We accept the scan. IRS do it as well. And after that, once ITIN is ready, we do deliver via email again, like via scan, pretty much similar with the hard copy. Again, like whether they have their entity, whether they're just newbies, like when it comes to, starting a U.S. entity as a non-resident, we are non-Americans. I am non-American myself. I got a small team of 11, global team. We speak multiple languages. Once anyone goes to our website, 24/7, Monday to Friday, I have an active live chat representative that is understanding you and talking to you, who is also non-American. Because a lot of people, like once I started this back in like 2018, once they go to the U.S. attorneys, they're having like a little bit misunderstanding of how it works for the non-resident, because there's a difference. For example, the way that you get your EIN is not the same if you're American. If you're American, you just can generate it with your social. Again, we focus like fully on the non-US, non-Americans. Either they have their US entity ready or they don't. We can do their ITIN, or they can get their US entity with us as well. We have, again, like the ITIN.com is our website. They can simply check it there. One other thing that I want to say, which is very nice that we do additionally, anyone like who needs to set their Amazon Seller Central, set their Stripe, PayPal, eBay, Etsy, we have an actual teammate who follows up your application and who assists you with it. Like, for example, if a payment provider or a bank requires like a website, we do check your website. We say, okay, you need to put your company name on the bottom footer, put the address that you have. So in addition to obtaining your ITIN, we have an actual teammate who can help you to set up your PayPal or even the banking that you will use in the US. The ITIN.com is our website. Again, we're just like one message away on the live chat, and my teammates will be more than happy to just, talking to you around and answering your questions as well.
And Uhur, there are, of course, several services people can find where they can acquire ITN, and there are companies helping with that. Why would they should choose you? Like, what's your kind of benefit or what you offer there?
Sure. Thank you so much for asking. Great question. First, the main reason, obviously, like ITIN is something simple, something straightforward. Even though it takes time, it's long. The price is one of the main reasons. We do granted that we have the best market pricing. After the discount that they have with you, like after the 50 off, they will get their items for only $300. The closest competitor, if they like check online, like EIN Express, ITN.com, they charge like $500, $400. So we have the best market pricing. Anyone who comes to us and say, hey, I found this price better, we can match it straight up, like we assure that. I have 24/7, Monday till Friday, real live chat representatives. They're ready to talk to you on our website. Go check it right now. They will answer real people. We have great reviews. They can check us on Trustpilot, updated good reviews on Google. We do, again, everything remotely. There are some ITIN providers they ask you to ship a form that you sign to their US address. We don't do that. How you don't do that? Sometimes people ask. There's a form that's called like IRS form 2448, which is a giving authorization for my accept agents to sign on behalf. The authorization is only for this ITIN application. Don't get it wrong. That's one other reason. It's not only about ITIN. Once they do their ITIN, I have again actual teammates who help them to start their payment providers, their US banking. If they have any questions about with the taxes, they get to hop on a call with me for about 30 minutes. We can discuss about their case individually, my experience, everything. I'll be more than happy to share, no matter where they're from. These are the reasons that comes to my mind. First, we guarantee that's going to be the fastest ITIN possible. We do all the work like in about 24 hours, all the fillings and submissions. Yeah, and these are the main reasons that I can list.
You guarantee that the processing of the documents is the fastest, but you cannot guarantee how fast IRS will respond.
Yeah, totally on them. Yeah, and also like we do guarantee that we will do their ITINs successfully. If there's anything missing, we're not gonna do the application. Like every month we do hundreds of ITINs. The biggest incorporators, they are partners. Like if they ever heard about like maybe First Base or like Dula, these are like the very big business incorporators for the non-US. They choose us for their ITINs. We do again hundreds of like ITINs every month. And yeah, our experience throughout the years, like when it comes to getting ITIN online, we believe like we're the brand for that they can go through.
Cool. So yeah, as Ur mentioned, the discount code is below in the description. You will find the link, and their ITIN company, Ur's company and team can help you with ITIN, foreign companies in 50 states. Anything else?
We help the business formation comes with EIN. We provide them a business address. They can receive unlimited documents all year, completely for free. They get free scans. Anything that needs to be shipped, we only charge shipping. If they need like a US SIM card, we ship them an actual physical SIM card. If they need the VPS to log in the online banking, PayPal, we have VPS service as well. When the tax season comes, we help again like hundreds of our customers like file their taxes with us. Some people are not comfortable with that. We have a lot of customers from South America. So we like my team is global. Again, I'm non-US, non-American founder myself. So we understand you the most. We can help you in Chinese, in Arabic, and in Spanish. If you come to our chat, I have live chat representatives. They can speak your language too. Also, you can switch like the language of the website too.
Yeah, that's amazing. So the link is below in the description. The discount is as well, $50 off. And thank you, Ur, and it was nice to talk to you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me again. Bye.
Hope you enjoyed this video, and now it's more clear for you why you need, when you need, and what are obligations if you have ITIN, International Tax Identification Number in US. And if you need help with that, Ur's team will for sure help you. It's the link below in the description. You get $50 off their services if you use our Orange Click coupon code. And if you have additional questions, leave them in the comment section below. Also, if you like the content we create, click like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so before. And now I would like to invite you to watch other video on our channel, which will help you with your Amazon sales. I guess so. So check this out.